Welcome back to Hardball. Right now, the Congress, the Democrats are pushing a bill to expand Medicare, including coverage for children. President Bush has said he will veto the bill. He said it's too much government control. And late today, anti-war activist Cindy Sheehan and about 24 fellow anti-war activists were arrested for refusing to leave the office of Democratic Congressman John Conyers after calling for the impeachment of President Bush and Vice President Dick Cheney. Michael Moore, where do you stand on these various degrees of punishment? Should the president be punished through a censure for the bad intel we got going into war?
Yes, and he should be impeached.
How about put in prison for war crimes?
Yes, eventually I think we need a trial in this country where Mr. Cheney and Mr. Bush would be brought up on charges for causing the deaths of so many people. This is absolutely something that if this were any other country, if any other country did this, we'd be going after them. And we
well,
have
actually,
to,
one country did something much worse, of course. That was, but it's interesting if you go back to the Nuremberg trials. The Nuremberg trials weren't about the genocide. It was about waging an aggressive war. I love reading some of that language. It's interesting. Let's go to the first question.
Hi, Michael. I'm Mark Kohler from Penn State University. I have a quick question for you. We touched on this a little bit, but what do you think it's going to take to remove the pharmaceutical industry's influence over the media and politicians in general?
What's the influence over the media first, buddy? What's the influence over me?
Well, have you watched the nightly news ever once? I mean, the amount of advertisements for any kind of pharmaceutical drug is so prevalent, especially during the dinner hour. And therefore, it makes the media
Who's the media? You mean producers working for the nightly news?
The six corporations who are
do you have any evidence that the nightly news producers are affected by the advertising?
Well,
not in my pocket.
Well, get it.
But I do have some. Actually, I do have some.
Let me put it.
You do have some evidence? What's the evidence?
Well, I
got to help.
Okay.
This guy mentioned the media.
Yeah,
I got to
want to help him out.
You go. Go.
It's not that there's some big conspiracy going on, but you know that if every other ad is from the pharmaceutical companies on the nightly news, this is just a question to put out there. Ask yourself, have you ever seen a positive story done on the nightly news about how great the healthcare system is in Canada? Has anyone ever seen that story? I've never seen that story. I have heard how bad it is, how they have to wait, how this and that is wrong with it, it's broken, but I haven't seen the positive story.
So you think there's I wanted to explore this. No, I want to know what you think, really. Do you think there's a mindset in commercially paid-for television that prevents any serious discussion of a positive attitude towards a socialist system? Just on the ideological point.
About the Christian system, Christianized medicine.
If you want to call it that, too.
I think that there is a tendency, and look, I mean, I've had network shows. Time Warner distributed my first movie. I wrote a book that was published by Warner Books.
Yeah.
So I'm at the same trough that you're at, too. So
I'm not defending the system. I'm looking for evidence. Because you know what? I'd like to find evidence of that. I'd like to find out that
you're not going to find, that's what I'm saying, you're not going to find the conspiracy, here's the secret cabal meeting that took place.
Yeah.
It's more of a sort of a and you sort of start repeat the same things. Well, don't they have longer waits up there in Canada?
Yeah.
And we all just start repeating that. Does anybody know? Anybody been to Canada? Anybody been to a hospital in Canada? I mean, I take you there in my movie, and I ask everyone there, and the longest wait time I could find in that waiting room was 45 minutes. Maybe it would have been different in another hospital, but the facts are, the Canadians, their own facts show that it's not the way we say it is here. And we have been fed so much propaganda by our media, and to say that it has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that every other ad is a drug ad. They don't allow these drug ads in Europe. You can't see them on TV. And in fact, I was surprised that Mr. Bush's nominee last week for the Surgeon General there in front of Congress said that he would support the removal of these ads. I don't know if he cleared that with the White House first, but I thought
you have earned yourself an enemy here. This is Huckabee, the former governor of Arkansas. Mike Huckabee's running for president.
Yeah, he's lost all that weight.
He's decided to come after you.
Yeah.
Okay, here's what he said. Frankly, don't you love when politicians say that? Yeah. Like other times, they're not being frank, right? Frankly, Michael Moore is an example of why the health care system costs so much in this country. He clearly is one of the reasons that we have a very expensive system. I know that from my own personal experience. He's identifying with you here.
Yeah.
Said Huckabee, who lost more than 110 pounds and became an avid runner after he was diagnosed with diabetes.
Right.
Your response, sir?
Well, first of all, there's nothing worse than a reformed smoker or Twinkie eater. And so they all become scolds, don't they?
I know.
I
I agree with you, that attitude.
Yeah.
Don't preach.
Right.
Do.
Right.
But
do.
he's knocking you.
Yeah, well,
he's saying you're overweight. You're most of it. Isn't
he said I was
obesity one of the?
overweight?
Isn't it? I think that was the implication here.
No,
But isn't that honestly? You talk about France, and I was just over there a while ago, and I got to tell you, in Italy, I was over there for the Pope's funeral, and I got to tell you, one of the amazing things about continental Europe, the people all look great. Everybody's in good shape. Is it because they walk a lot? Is it because they don't eat the junk we eat? What is it?
Well, no, wait. You were there. You notice they smoke more than we do.
But they
drink a lot.
But why do they look so good? Why are they so thin?
Because
I thought it was walking.
Partly, yes, it is that, and look, I was halfway through making this film, and I said to myself, look, Mike, there's something hypocritical here about you're making a healthcare movie and you're not taking care of your own health.
Yeah.
So near the end of the film, I started going for a walk every day, started eating these things that are called fruits and vegetables, and I in 3 months I lost 30 pounds. I read this book, this Pt5 book, which is a really good concept about how to eat food, and so now I'm on the good path. And you've done, it looks like the same thing.
I lost 30-something. Advice, when you go to Starbucks, don't look in that counter. Just don't even look. Look, can I have some black coffee, please? Don't look at those apple fritters. 850 calories. It's like sex for 10 minutes. It's unbelievable. You don't want to eat that stuff. You don't want to eat it.
If you want to avoid this broken healthcare system, one of the ways to do that is to take better care of yourself.
Okay, we're hitting it all here. We're doing it all here. Health, politics, corruption. We'll be right back with Michael Moore.